I am Shia Yeshu Judah, the host of the Truth Be Told Flex podcast. This is a Truth Be Told Flex podcast extra. Tomorrow night, please do not forget to tune in to episode 102, where my co-host Ayob Ben Yahoo, he will be taking over tomorrow night. I have an emergency that I have to take care of, so therefore I will not be there tomorrow night. But Ayob is going to hold it down. Ayob and the new addition, Young Judah, they will be holding it down tomorrow night. I'm more than sure that they have a jam-packed show that is going to be laid out. This is an extra. I got 3 stories that I want to go over as fast as I possibly can. I entitled this one here, Pay Attention to the Wizards. And the reason why I say pay attention to the Wizards, you're going to start hearing this more and more out of my mouth. If you can see them, they're not important. If you can hear them, they're not important. Those that are important are those who are invisible. Okay? Who knows who Biden's boss is? Who know who the real Secretary of Treasury is? Not the person whose name that's on the bill. I'm talking about the real Secretary of Treasury. Who know who the real president of this corporation is? See, these are the wizards. And what we need to understand is that billions of people in the world, we are all being controlled by a handful of people, for real. The wizards. Pay attention to the wizards. Let's find out who the wizards is. Now, this is 3 stories that I'm not saying were fabricated, but I'm saying that there's a possibility that all 3 of them have been fabricated for a certain reason. One of them we know is fabricated, and that's going to be the last one that we talk about. We're going to talk about that one knowing that it was fabricated, but it has implications on the future. Remember, Peter asked Yasha, Matthew 24, he said, tell us what would the signs be of the end? And the very first thing came out of Yasha's, Hamashiach's mouth was, be ye not deceived. And the reason why is because of the crafty counsel of the wicked, those who are against us, the craftiness of them. Let's not lose focus of that word crafty, the craftiness of them. They are very, very crafty. So crafty to the point that Yasha said that in the last days, that if it was not cut short, that the very elect wouldn't even make it. And I can attest to that because as much as I stay in the spirit and as much as I ride with the Most High and I allow his Ruach to decode things from me, there are still times that I get caught up in the sauce too. And that takes us to this very first story. Brittany Griner, WNBA coach, was furious with crowd. Let's see. Just go to this first story. Brittany Griner. Now, everybody know what had been happening with Brittany Griner. She got arrested over in Russia. It's plausible, people, that this whole thing could have been fabricated for an agenda. I need you to understand that there is a possibility that no news that we see is actually real. When it comes out of main media, that is. Okay? Things like this here. Now, you hear that, next door neighbor, got killed or got robbed or something like that. That's different. I'm talking about these agenda-based stories. None of them could be real. All of them could be real, but none of them could be real. It's plausible that all of these stories was made up. All the way down to the Jamie Foxx having a stroke could have been made up. Distractions are they friends, are the crafty enemy, the wizards. Distractions is they friends, because as long as they distract you, you'll never find them. You'll never look for them as long as you're distracted. And let's look at this one right here. This is WNBA coach furious with crowd for Brittany Griner's first game. Brittany Griner played in her first regular season WNBA game since returning from Russia on Friday night. The Phoenix Mercury fell to the Los Angeles Spark at Crypto.com Arena in Southern California. While the crowd was impressive, more than 10,000 showed up. It was not a sellout. Griner's WNBA coach was not happy. I mean, it was great, but like honestly, come on now, LA. We didn't sell out the arena for BG, Brittany Griner. Like I expected more. You know, to be honest, right? It was great. It was loud. But how was it not a sellout? How was it not a sellout? Vanessa Nygaard said. Here she is right here.
But like honestly, come on LA. Like we didn't sell out the arena for BG. Like I expected more, you know, to be honest, right? Like it was great, it was loud, but how was it not a sellout? How was it not a sellout? But
I tell you, Vanessa, how it was not a sellout. Let me be the first one to tell you. It wasn't a sellout because your product sucks. It sucks. You expecting people to sell out the arena for Brittany Griner? No. You should be expecting people to sell out the arena because the WNBA is putting out a good product, which it is failing to do. Women's college basketball is far more better than the WNBA. Dudes go to college, man. They go to get a little bit of tweaking on their game, but they can't hurry up to get up out of there to get to the NBA. Competition better, the money better, everything about the NBA is better than college. But the WNBA, them girls don't be rushing to get up out of school. They play and they play on. Angel Reese said herself not long ago that she's making more money as a college athlete than a lot of WNBA players. Your products, and you can't pay them more than what you do because y'all not making the money. It ain't really got nothing to do with marketing. The product on the court is bad. So yeah, this story, this whole Brittany Griner story, people. The Wizards could have fabricated this story just for this with the intentions of, hey, when she come back, people are going to be so glad that she back that we can use her as an attraction to put butts in the seat. She's speaking the heart right now. How was it not a sellout? We couldn't sell out for BG. All of this we went through, allegedly, okay, I'm not saying that they did, but allegedly, all of this we went through, we done had her arrested over here in Russia. We done had the ordeals all on TV. We paraded her when she came back. And now this is the first game, and it wasn't a sellout. No, it was not a sellout. People don't care about BG like that. No. People spend their money. They want to spend their money on a good product. Your product, WNBA, sucks. Pay attention to the Wizards. The Wizards could have done all of this for Brittany Griner to be an attraction for butts in the seat. Daniel Penny claims. Now, we're moving on to the next story here, okay? Daniel Penny, this dude, man, Daniel Penny. He claims that he could not be a racist because, guess this, check this out. He was planning a trip to Africa right before all of this happened. Right before all of this happened, Daniel Penny claims he can't be racist because he planned a trip. What do planning a trip to Africa have to do with him being a racist or not? Huh? There's plenty of racist white folks in Africa. As if white people didn't colonize parts of Africa as well. He never heard of the apartheid? Huh? Matter of fact, if you look at him, he looked like he could be one of those white Africans anyway. You know how they look, like the Charlize Theron type. You know, the blonde hair. They can't help the pale skin, but yeah, he looked like he could be an African. He can't be a racist because he was planning a trip to Africa. Look here, this story here, not saying that it is, but the Wizards could have fabricated this story as well. And what I mean by fabricating, I don't mean that it did not happen. Somebody died on that subway. I believe that wholeheartedly. But why did they die? Ask yourself them questions. Be not deceived. That was the very first answer that Hamashiach gave. Why did he die? Where did Daniel Penny come from? How was he there on that particular night? Jordan Neely had been in the subways of New York for years. Jordan Neely has YouTube views that's up in the millions for what it is that he does as far as his Michael Jackson impersonations. The Wizards could have fabricated this story to pull on the emotions of the so-called American people. I'm very much in belief that a race riot is what the Wizards would love to have. You get a race riot going in this place, man. Now you can call in martial law. You can shut this joker down. You could put boots and troops on the ground. FEMA can come in and overtake the government. Because now what you have is chaos. Nobody find it oddly strange that within a span of 2 years, we done seen 2 black men being choked to death on every social media platform by a white man? Whether Daniel Penny is a racist or not, Shia Yashub have no clue. But what I do know is that the way that they setting this thing up and the way that they moving pieces on the chessboard, it's racist. Whether he's racist, I don't know. But what they are doing is racist. He murdered this guy. And you let him go home. You let him walk back into the courts. And America is raising millions of dollars for their American, Daniel Penny. Pay attention to the Wizards, people. Pay attention to the Wizards. Everybody who ever met me can tell you I love all people. I love all cultures. You can tell by my past and by my travels and adventures around the world, said Penny. I was actually planning a road trip through Africa before this happened. But that's equivalent to saying I love black people. My best friend is black. That's equivalent to that. Come on, Neely. Pay attention to the Wizards. Pay attention to the Wizards. All right, last story here. AI generated photo of the Pentagon. Now, we know that this story is fabricated, right? Let's check this out.
Now, a hoax appearing to show a picture of an explosion at the Pentagon got a lot of attention online today. This fake photo right here caused a lot of people to panic, rightly so. It even appeared to cause the stock market to skip a beat before digital experts showed it was fake and possibly AI generated. Tonight, our Bruce LeShan is at the Air Force Memorial to verify what we know about this false claim.
Take a look. The Pentagon is fine. No sign of any explosion. And as you sharpen your verify skills, that really is a key thing to remember. If there really had been an explosion at the Pentagon, you almost certainly would have seen scores of pictures and witness accounts, not just one. The photo is fake, even though it was retweeted by multiple accounts with Twitter's new pay-for-play blue check marks. Our sources, the Pentagon Force Protection Agency, Arlington Fire, and Nick Waters, a London-based researcher with the Bellingcat Open Source Investigative Journalism Group. So how long did it take you to figure this out?
Very quickly, maybe about 10, 20 seconds. So initially, what jumps out at you from the picture is that things just don't look quite right.
Check Google Street View or just your memory. Pretty clear the building is not the Pentagon. Then look at the crowd barrier. The Pentagon is surrounded by walls and steel fences.
It's not the Pentagon. It's not real.
Confirmed by Arlington Fire and the Pentagon Police, which tweeted, "There is no explosion or incident taking place at or near the Pentagon reservation." Another picture claiming an explosion at the White House is also fake. Does the picture even look anything like the White House?
You can see that the images are generated because when you look at cars in the foreground, you can see they're all like weirdly misfigured and misshapen.
The supposed White House photo got a lot less traction. So both these photos are fake. Waters warns that one impact of these hoaxes is growing skepticism. People are unsure if they can believe anything online anymore. With your Verify at the Pentagon, Bruce Leshan, WUSA 9.
So, AI, deep fake, it's going to get a lot of us in trouble. It's going to get a lot of us in trouble. The reason why it's going to get us in trouble is because the wizards are going to use AI and deep fake to create stories that are not true on people that are not guilty. Y'all have heard me say many a times, how do we know what's really happening over there in Ukraine? I have not been over there. They have the technology to show us images of things that don't exist. This is why Yasha said, be not deceived. We walk by faith and not by sight, people. We really, truly need to believe that. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on something that don't need a whole lot of explaining. But we really need to start paying attention to the wizards. Distractions are the best friends of the enemy. Because when they can keep us distracted, they could continue to do with us as they please. I'm Shia Yeshub Judah. This is the Truth Be Told Flex Podcast Extra. Please tune in tomorrow night, episode number 102, where the co-host Ayob Ben Yahoo will have the ham. It's going to be a great show. And with that being said, Shalom. If you have not, like, subscribe, and also share the content. Share the content. I've seen a lot of content here on YouTube. A lot of content. This is some content that's worthy to be shared. Shalom.